Well, hey, it's Sunday. Energy is whacked. I'm going to give this a couple seconds to see if anybody's out there and if anyone's online today. Maybe there's no one. When you find me, if you find me, give me a little emoji. Let me know who's following along. All right, I want to talk about the energy right now. So we're going to dive into that. I know it's Sunday, and I usually try to do these on Mondays, but I have a real cramped schedule tomorrow, part one. I have a very cramped schedule tomorrow, so I wanted to do it today to make sure I got it done. Hi, Tara. Number two, I am seriously procrastinating finishing the work that I need to finish. So I was like, what better way to procrastinate than doing a forecast for the week? Serious in procrastination mode today. Like, I literally just finished showering like half an hour ago. Like, really, really rocking it right now. Hi, Tanya. Okay. Let's talk about the energy. Let's talk about what's going on. I'm going to share some personal stuff first. So I've been doing a series called 100 Days of Surrender on YouTube where, I'm being real. I'm being raw. I'm being unfiltered. And why. So I want to talk about why I'm doing that. And number one, I do better with accountability. So if I'm accountable to surrendering for 100 days and you guys are doing it with me, I'm gonna fucking do it. Oh, I don't think I'm supposed to spare here. Hard one. And two, I really want to demonstrate a couple of different things. I'm noticing a huge trend online, especially on TikTok, of a lot of false fake positivity, fake spirituality, spiritual narcissism, which is going undiagnosed and nobody's really talking about that. And I'm seeing all these people faking it and putting on their best performance and their best selfies. And how does a picture of you in a bikini standing on a beach have anything to do with your spiritual journey or the messaging you're bringing forward? Or some dudes being like, oh, I got visited last night and da-da-da. And it's like, it's making me vomit. So you know what? F it. My 100 days of surrender are the truth, the behind the scenes of what it looks like to be awake, what it looks like to be human, having this beautiful, this spiritual experience, like we're spiritual having a human experience, whatever your fucking niche tag is on that. I gotta stop swearing. Darn it. So I'm just being very unfiltered and very raw. I'm awake. I get it. I am a master manifester. I have it figured out. I still can be super messy and sloppy and human. And so this 100 days of surrender is filled with my journey of surrendering into taking distractions out of the way, to navigating into a deeper awareness of myself so that I can level up to the next level. I love changing lives, and I have the honor and the luxury of being in soul purpose full time and have been for quite some time. So my goal is to change 1 million lives, and I'm not going to do it the toxic, false way at all. Like, I just don't want to do it like that. I don't think it's attainable. I think it's unrealistic, and I think if you are striving for perfection, that's nonsense. There is no such thing as perfection on this journey, and there is no such thing as there. There's no destination. There's no awoke destination. There is no enlightened destination. So, yeah, man, bringing it to you live and unfiltered. Not live, but you know what I mean. Recorded on YouTube. So that whole journey is up there if you want to follow along. It's vulnerable. So hi Anna. I love the support. I really appreciate the support and the encouragement and the love letters that I've been getting, to know that I'm not alone on this journey and that somehow I'm being helpful. Because that's what I aim. I aim to take you as far as I've gotten. I can only do that. I'm not going to take you, beyond where I am, obviously. So as far as I've gotten is as far as I want to take you. And that's my passion and my pleasure. So there's that. It's been a wild, crazy. I'm only 12 days in out of 100. And I noticed that some days I'm like, okay, Dime, 88 more to go. Instead of, it's been 12 wicked days. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but interesting. So try and keep that balance. next week is the start. So next Saturday, the 14th, is the first day of our Ascension virtual retreat. There's just like 2 or 3 seats left if you want to jump on that. It's amazing. It is all of my life's work. It is intense. It is not fluffy. It is not this woo spiritual BS. I'm not going to do that. It is real applicable content on how to absolutely level up in your spiritual awareness, level up in your experience on this planet, to move from survival mode, free or fear, all of those things, into thriving, freedom, excitement, love, and aligning with. It's the truth behind manifesting. I see it inundated on TikTok. The 5 steps to manifesting. It starts with writing a gratitude. Nope, it's not that. It is about your vibration. So this content will take your vibration and teach you what to do with it. There's actual steps. Like there's homework sheets, which is what I'm supposed to be finishing right now, is your homework sheets. And instead I'm doing this, but I will get them done. They'll be done by this evening, because no distractions from 8 to 10 is my thing right now. So no social media or phone or any of that junk. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about the energy. We have got this retrograde going on. It's not impacting me that I'm aware of, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, but it definitely is putting some kinks into my tech stuff. So like my phone and my Wi-Fi are having a heyday with it. Super awesome. Teaching me patience. My printer, I had to have a little conversation with my printer. There's nothing in this world that can take me to a 10 in frustration quicker than a printer. Like, honest to F. I'm just like, are you, like, we're going to break up. I'm just going to buy a new one. I'm going to throw you out and buy a new one and start over. Like, ooh. So I'm having those kind of experiences. The Mercury retrograde's up until the 18th. So we do have a little bit of wonky donkey energy for a bit. But it's going to smooth out. We are seeing some lift in the energetic realm, or the frequency that's available to us right now. We're seeing a gradual lift. So you're going to have these like oof moments, but then you should be able to, or align or lift into a clarity. And we are in an opportunity for extensive clarity, especially if you're following along that 100 Days of Surrender. I do throw some tips in there and some things to look at, to process, to discover about yourself in that journey as well. Again, on YouTube. All right, let's talk about the energy. So let me just connect in. For those of you that have no idea who I am a generational psychic medium, highly intuitive, born that way. And I use cards just because it helps me translate the message quicker. Oh, there goes the timer on my stove. We may have to go for a walk into my kitchen. Laundry. Put a timer on or you're going to forget. So we are going to go for a walk together to turn that off. So yeah, the intuition piece. This is all about, let me just fix myself here. Welcome to my chaos, right? Okay. Let's go turn off a timer together. So the intuition piece, born that way. It's just how I function. It's like, I remember being in my mom's womb and all that junk. So that's super fun. And I use the cards to translate the message further. So when I connect into the collective, which is what I'm doing right now. So I connect into the energy of those that are going to connect in. I don't know who's going to connect in. I don't need to know. What I do is I connect into my ascended energies, and I'm like, all right, call them out. So before I start a live, I sit and I take a moment to connect into my ascended energies, and I'm like, connect into these ascended energies of the souls who are meant to go on this journey with me. And then usually, boom, we align. And there it is. It's literally that simple. You don't have to complicate it. And then as I'm delivering the message, it's through that chain of effect. So that collective energy sort of comes through. I've already done the January forecast. That's on the website. I did the yearly forecast free this year. It's long, but it's up on YouTube as well. So I already kind of have a vibe of what's going on collectively, globally with the energies and the retrogrades and the moon and all that junk. But these sessions are just for the ones that we connect with. So what I want you to do is connect in. And I just want you to just take a big breath and sort of relax your diaphragm. I feel like the messaging is going to be a little bit deeper than it usually is. So what I want you to do is think to yourself, what number is going to come to the surface first? 1, 2, or 3. Trust your instincts, whichever one you first lean in, that's the one. Or this could be somehow of a progressive messaging or a combination of all of the above. So I just want you to sit with that. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you're feeling. I'm going to take a full minute to dive in, sip my water. Just realized that it's like 20 to 4 and I haven't eaten today. Not doing very good at taking care of my physical body right now. Okay, here we go. Let's start with number ones. All right, here the numbers come. Good stuff. All right, number ones. Okay, there's some beautiful messaging in this. Okay, so for those of you that have chosen number 1, it's actually, I'll show you the cards. I love these cards. I think they're really beautiful. It's actually 18, which is a 9. When I see 9s, in the power of 369, which is in the virtual retreat. So I teach you how to apply the power of 369 in your personal life, not like astrology. When I see 9s, this is about, are you forward thinking too much? Let me try and explain this. So time is an illusion. We talk in depth about time and how to actually morph your time space reality in the retreat that I teach. You can alter this, absolutely. But what I'm hearing for number ones, and this might be a general message across the board for all of us to just kind of ponder, is if we are looking at what we desire, we're not focusing on the evolution of here and now. And so we're not looking at the unfolding. So if we're so focused on the goal, the manifestation, the desire, you're not aligning with it. You're keeping it out of reach, actually. So we don't want to be, we want to create that vision. We want to know, okay, what are we moving towards? What are the desires that my soul is asking for, that my ego self is asking for? What do I want to experience? This is why you're here, right? So we get that vision going, but you have to learn how to let it go. The same way you would put an order in at a restaurant. You wouldn't call the waiter every 10 minutes and be like, excuse me, I'd just like to make sure that I ordered the pasta. You would just trust it. You'd be like, okay, my order's in. I know what I'm eating. Let's enjoy the moment. So there's a general message right now for number ones of not thinking too far in the future, not looking at that ache, that desire that you have, because then you're going to keep it out of reach. There is no such thing as time. There is memories, there is right here perception, and there is daydream, imagination of what could be. We function on a level where predictive programming, what we've experienced is what we expect to receive, subconsciously and consciously. So right now, what you want to do is take yourself into the flow. The other card that's going along with this is this one, which is all about surrender. This is about moving into that heart space and making it a little bit bigger. There's lots of space for you to expand your heart space and your self-love and your worth and all of those things. But we do that by being in the flow of the present moment. The present moment isn't a stagnant thing. It is the flow, the unfolding. So when you have your goals, your vision, which we all do, we all have a desire. I want you to put it there, and then I want you to look at, what does the unfolding of that feel like, look like for me? Where can I see evidence of that? And we want to bring ourselves into the awareness of the unfolding, not the thing. So number ones, back it up a little bit, put your vision aside. You've already got it. It's there. If you can conceive it in your mind, you absolutely can receive it. Your mind cannot conceive the impossible. So you will allow that in by watching the unfolding and appreciating the unfolding. So we want to get into that moment right here, right now, where we're like, where's there evidence of the feeling that thing is going to give me? The ease, the freedom, the peace, the calm, the extra breath, the surrender, the serenity. So I want you to actively search for those things this week. This week, the energy is so supportive for you to do that. Cool. Yeah, they are really pretty cards, aren't they? I'll show you the actual, let's call it Baron Reed, who I love. She's badass. So this is the deck of cards right here. Love her to a million pieces. The artwork's awesome. Okay, so let's go into number twos. Okay, number twos. Ooh. Love this. All right, here's what I'm hearing. First thing, right off the hop, you're doing great. You're doing so great. You have done so much healing. So this is what it looks like. It's not about what the card says, it's what it shows me. So what I'm hearing is you've got this. Like, you've done an incredible job. You've done an amazing job. You've done so much healing. This week is the week for you to take a step back and look at and admire and honor the work that you have done. When we get caught up in the spiritual journey, and I've done it, I know it very well, and I see it all the time when I work with my clients, we're like, okay. Like, next level. Oh my God, I had this great meditation. I got to do that again. We're trying to achieve something. This week is not about achieving. It's about recognizing what you have achieved. Because in the recognition of your growth, your frequency is shifting, which allows for more transformation. You are going to level up quite a bit during the month of January. Quite a bit. If you allow it. I can say that. I can't promise you that's going to happen if you sit on your ass and do nothing about it. If you allow it, if you align with the awakening, you're going to level up quite a bit. My ears are ringing as I'm saying that. It's like a hardcore pay attention. So this week is all about you honoring what you have done. It's nice and tidy. It's nice and clean. We all have trauma. We all have pain. We are human. I have been teaching this for well over a decade. I work with clients across the globe, and I am still in evolution, guys. I am still in the awakening process. We don't get there. We just become the evolutionary process. We become the flow. So stop being so hard on yourself. Congratulate yourself. I want you to go do a little bit of mirror work where you're looking in the mirror and you're being like, yes, babe, I'm proud of you. Do you do that? Do you look in your own eyes and say, I'm proud of you? Really important. Really, really important. It changes the vibration. It allows you to shift into more. The other thing I'm really hearing is it's a lot of starseed energy as well in number 2. So not all of you are going to identify as a starseed, but I think there's going to be some starseed awakening, or these little pops, or these little bits of clarity or visions or connections or names or knowing coming through for you this week if you give yourself time and space. Even though I just said time doesn't exist, but create the opportunity, the experience of connecting in that meditative state. It doesn't have to be formal meditation. It can be pacing through the home. It can be gazing out the window. It can be gazing at fire. Whatever works for you, find your way. But this is a time to really indulge in how wonderful you're doing and be prepared for the next level. It's a high, I don't want to use the word opportunity because opportunity would suggest that it's going to pass you by. But it's a big energy opening for number 2s to go up a level or two. And it's not about going up and being better or higher, just a broader awareness, we'll say. Just a more expansive awareness. I liken it to, in the retreat that I teach, I liken it to if you were born and you were only ever in one room and you never knew anything other than that room. You would think the room was everything. And then one day you open the curtains and you're like, holy shit, there's an outside. And then the next day you open the door and you're like, oh my God, there's a living room. And then you get to explore the house. You're like, there's a whole house. And then you go outside and you're like, oh my God, there's a backyard. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you're like, oh my God, there's galaxies. That's how this healing awakening journey feels. So there's lots of expansion available for you if you give yourself the space to allow that to move through you. But first you have to shift your frequency into, I've done really well. And there is no expectation. There is no end game. It's just, I'm doing a great job at understanding myself. I'm doing a great job at loving myself. And I will tell you this for absolute fact. If you do not fully fall in love with all of you, your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self, you won't go all the way. You'll get stuck in spiritual ego, which is what we're seeing all over TikTok right now. So you have to go on that self-love journey. You don't have to do anything. If you desire the expansion, please desire the self-love and navigate that. That's a huge opportunity for you this week. Also, the starseed connection's really strong, so you may get some visits from your galactic brothers and sisters. Love it. That's powerful. All right, let's go into number 3. Number 3, you're going through what I'm going through. This is like, oh man, when we go through this journey, lack of a better term, the spiritual journey, you'll be like, oh my God, did you know? Like, this is incredible. This is amazing. And then all of a sudden, you'll be like, oh my God, I don't know anything. It's like a rewrite. And then you go through this another level and you're like, oh, do you know what I know? Like, this is incredible. It's so exciting. And then it goes up to a whole other level where that shifts and you're like, I don't know anything. So I feel like you're kind of in the thick of that, number 3s. Hey, Shayla. Hey, Christina. I just noticed you're there too. Yeah, you're going to be going through the, got nothing. And you'll have an experience where a common, very well used phrase like, you got to love yourself before you love anyone, or the phrase, we're all one, where we're like, yeah, no, we got it. It integrates and you're like, oh, and then there's no human words to put it into because you get a vision and a knowing and an experience where you're like, I don't even know how to put that into human terminology. And yeah, the what the F is going on? Yes, Tara, it's that this week for number 3s. And I feel like we sort of already dove into that and we're going to be feeling that all week where it's like, don't force it. Don't rush it. Don't run from it or run into it, or like nothing needs to be forced or rushed ever, but you're getting a big rewrite right now. You are doing the rewrite right now where you're looking at society and you're like, this is a great week if you want to go down the rabbit hole into conspiracy theories. This is a great week for ripping the veil off and being like, what? Great for documentaries, great for taking in information, knowledge, because as we take this in, it triggers something you've already had. You will have had like, think you've got the whole puzzle together and then all of a sudden like a whole other layer comes and you're like, oh my God. So that's this week for number 3s. Definite rewrite. No, that's not it. Wait. Deep philosophical awareness coming through, deep universal wisdom coming through. And this is all part of like 5-dimensional consciousness. So there's 8 tiers to dimensional consciousness. You hear a lot of people talking about 5D and being in 5th dimension. I don't think everybody has a true handle on what that is. And there's a lot of people putting these caps on it, like somehow we're all in 5D and yay us. No, we are evolution. Some of us are 8th dimensional. Some of us are 3rd dimensional consciousness. Earth is shifting herself through 6th dimensional consciousness and trying to anchor there. So it's not a race. It's not a competition. It doesn't mean you're better if you're 5th or 6th, but I do feel that number 3s are really in 5th dimensional consciousness, kind of like bumping that ceiling of 6th dimensional consciousness where we're like, oh, and I don't know what other words to put with that except for an absolute freaking rewrite. And you drop pieces of your identity or your ego self in this phase, which is why I'm doing that 100 Days of Surrender on YouTube. So number 3s, do it with me. And it doesn't mean you have to give up the stuff I've given up. It's not about giving up things, this journey. It's about discovering it, surrendering into the discovery. For me, there's certain distractions that I desired to move out of my reality. Sex, wine, social media, TV, cream in my coffee. I miss that one a little bit. Like that might not be an always thing. So I'm putting distractions aside and just sort of moving through me. You don't have to do it like that the way I do. You find your own path, but there's lots of little tips in there. So we are doing rewrites. We are going to a deeper level of our consciousness awareness, and we're integrating that. And January is a month of drastic integration. Tanya, I feel like my life's going through right now. Yeah, it sure is, babe. You and Tara both are like ripping the pages out. Like that's not it. Whoa, where are we going? It's beautiful to witness, absolutely beautiful to witness when you see people on social media just, woo, ripping it apart. All right. That's that. Glad I got to get on here, and thank you for all the comments. I love to know I'm not just blowing hot air out for no reason. And yeah. All right. So those of you that want to take the dive, there is payment plans available for the retreat. There is, like I said, a few seats left. But it's not wishy-washy. So it is actually really intense content and big content that you need to pay attention for, but you will get recordings. So that's available. And anybody else who wants to join me on my surrender journey, let me know what you want to surrender. What do you desire? And for me, the whole surrender is I take what I do in this world, my role in this world of being of service to others, very, very seriously, more seriously than anything. And I am more than willing to sacrifice what would be perceived as a normal life to be of service. Being of service is my number one priority. I feel it in my soul. So I've chosen that path over a lot of things. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I can take you as far as I've gotten. So I want to go further. I want to hold hands, and I want to create drastic change, a ripple effect of drastic change. I am one pebble in the pond. That's it. And I want to help other pebbles do the same thing so that we can like cannonball together and create a tsunami of change across the globe. So that's why I'm doing my 100 days of surrender. This world needs to change, like hardcore. If it's something I'm passionate about, I won't start ranting about that. I will let you all go back to your Sundays. All right, mwah, mwah. Continue to be brave, bold, so raw, and I'll catch you when I catch you. Have a great afternoon, gang.